Gemini, what it do? My name is Patrick and this is Porché Tarot. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a reading for the week of February 25th through the 3rd. Just make sure you're highlighted here, Gemini. I've been calling people different signs and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I don't think I've done that in your reading yet, and let's make sure that doesn't happen today. We will be doing a money, career, and finance reading today, and let's get into it. Underneath the deck, we have Gemini, the Lovers card. So interesting. Virgo had this happen as well, where their card showed up right as them. That could tell me a couple things. You are left to you have a choice right now in terms of your career, money, and finance. This could also just tell me this reading is for you, or this could tell me that love is affecting your money, career, and finance right now. Your love life, your relationship, your partnership, your dating situation, something like that. But we will get a little bit more clarity as this situation unfolds. These cards are going everywhere, flipping and turning. Okay, let's get an overall read. So you are showing up as the Judgment card. So I feel like this is a situation that's coming back around for you right now, Gemini, that you're gonna be making a choice about. Or some decisions that are coming up. Choice is speaking like really loud. And this is a choice that I think you may not have made in the past, or a choice that you made in the past that's coming back around. I hesitate to say like the wrong choice, or like I made the wrong choice in the past. You didn't make a wrong choice, you made a different choice, right? And sometimes when things come back around, we can look back and say like, oh, I wish I would have done that differently then. But the past doesn't really exist. It's there, right? But you can't go back and change it. So a choice is coming back around for you. The situation has to do with the Page of Swords. So perhaps in a situation where I want to say something was said, a message was sent. This could also, the Page of Swords can also mean spying. And this page is looking back at this judgment. You may have taken a job, or I don't know what you did, Gemini. You may have taken a job or turned down an opportunity, or I really get this strong energy of like somebody, like, I don't want to say spying, but like looking at social media or watching one of your coworkers, or like seeing how much somebody else made, or something that really affected the way that things went, or that things are going now. The opportunity here is the Devil card. So Capricorn energy, this has to do with obsession. And when I look at that Page of Swords card, looking at this judgment, there's an opportunity here to probably relinquish control of a situation. You're bound to something, like very, very heavily. And there's an opportunity to walk away from that. This idea of like knowing how much somebody else made, perhaps you did some research and you found that like you made the wrong judgment call in terms of like how much money, or we'll get a little bit more clarity as we move forward. But if that resonates, it's probably something that you know more about than I could ever read in a card, right? The universe is working on the Seven of Pentacles here. So I see you putting a lot of work into a situation that you haven't quite gotten payoff for yet. Like this thing hasn't paid off. There's a lot of potential for success here, but you're in this like waiting period. You put a lot of work in and you're waiting for things to grow here, particularly in terms of your money, is the message I'm getting here. What you don't see is the Nine of Wands. You're almost there. You're almost there. You don't see it. Like the Knight of Wands is the card of wanting to quit. It's like being so close to the finish line and going like, oh, maybe this didn't work out. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should just give up. It's also a card of like being defensive. So you may be in a situation that is a little bit toxic, opportunity to break a toxic situation. You may be in a situation that may be a little bit toxic for you. Toxicity is interesting because it's like, it's two-sided in a lot of ways. Like if we enter into a toxic situation, it's because we voluntarily entered into it. So you may be working for somebody or in a place of employment or pursuing a career path that is very toxic, and you're showing up as being a bit defensive and guarded. You may need to be, but that energy is contributing to the toxicity here. Near future, we have the Six of Pentacles. So this is about it could be about a couple different things, but give and take, having equal give and take. You may be giving too much to a situation. Perhaps you're putting in more hours than you get in terms of pay. Perhaps you feel like you're getting paid too much. Like, I know that sounds strange, but like there's some sense, again, this Devil card is like screaming like guilt and shame to me. And if not, it's just screaming like toxic environment. So it depends on what role you play in this card. Like, are you the person taking, or are you the person giving here? So you could be giving too much to a situation. The key here is that this give and take needs to be balanced. The recent past, you walked away from something that wasn't terrible, wasn't all bad. But you walked away from it. It wasn't good either. I mean, it wasn't great. It was probably like good, but it wasn't great. This is also the card of emotional detachment, which in general, I mean, like, I feel like you should care about your employment, care about your job, care about the way that you make your money. But when it starts to affect mental health, or when it starts to affect different parts of your being, I think walking away, or at least emotionally detaching from situations, especially if they're toxic, is actually a really good thing. I feel like this has already happened, and if not, there was an opportunity for it to happen and it didn't, or perhaps somebody walked away from you in a way. You're showing up as like having a lot of happiness, and this is why, I mean, I do feel like you perhaps detached from a situation and you're looking at this situation. I mean, maybe something was going on in terms of like people gossiping around you or some sort of drama, and you walked away from a situation to pursue your own happiness, detach emotionally, and you were like, I'm not going to be a part of this toxic pattern, so I'm going to walk away. I think the lesson here is, how do you show up in that, right? If there's a place where you're operating from a place of defensiveness, is it possible that you were giving too much emotionally to the situation in the beginning? And that's where that, you know, that toxic pattern came from. Toxicity is really about like addictions, right? So if like you're working too much, you're putting in too many hours, and people get used to it, it's in the putting it in too many hours that their expectations came from. So were you overcommitting or overgiving to a situation, would be a question I would ask you here. Right beside the sun, we actually have the moon, which is showing up right in front of you. So as I see this like Page of Swords card that's showing up as the situation, and I see the moon, I kind of see a situation where there are some things that are hidden that you aren't aware of, or some secrets. So you may be keeping secrets, or people may be keeping secrets around you. I feel like there's a hope here that you're going to be able to turn away from this situation, or a fear. Somebody's turning their back on something here. The Three of Pentacles can also mean waiting for things to change, waiting for your ships to come in. Like I said, the Seven of Pentacles is here and what the universe is working on. The outcome here is the Knight of Pentacles. So there's this energy of like slow progress towards something. Whatever the situation is that's going on, I think that it is important to remain emotional. Like, there's a choice here, right? For some reason, I'm getting the message, Gemini, to like focus your energy, make a choice to put your love into other areas. So love your job, love your work, work on it. Like, I feel like the thing is coming, but create a routine for yourself that you can stick to, and then put your energy into something that you love in a different respect. So this may be a hobby, this may be, you know, a partner, or, you know, a friend, something else where you can sort of turn your attention away from the work that you're doing, because ultimately it's going to be successful. From what I can see in this reading, it's just going to take some time. Let's get some advice for you, Gemini. Advice for Gemini. The Dreamer. This is the Fool card. A new start, trust yourself, push your fears aside, and take a leap of faith. This is interesting, Gemini, because this is different energy than I've seen in this reading. I feel like there's two storylines here, which is indicative of the lovers, right? Two folks come together to make one energy here. Yeah. So on the one hand, you're waiting for something to build. You have to have a lot of patience for this thing to come through for you. And on the other hand, or on the other part of this is taking a leap of faith towards the thing that you love. I say leap of faith. I don't think you need to give up anything to start this new thing. I just think you need to put more of your attention into it. And you may have already started this thing that I'm talking about. Set up a schedule for yourself. Get into the routine of doing what you're doing. You know, segment out your day. I'm going to spend this amount of time doing this. I'm going to spend this amount of time on my work and my money. And then I'm going to spend this amount of time on what I love. And I think things will turn out great for you, Gemini. Okay? That's what I have for you today. And I will see you next week.